And like Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over but expecting a different result. So thinking you need to sacrifice more in order for you to see more success in your business is actually keeping you stuck. Now I can see why you would think this is the case. I get it. We hear from a lot of gurus that you need to sacrifice everything, you need to hustle your face off, and even lose some sleep in order to see success. But let me ask you this, does everybody who sacrifices things like their family and their health have more success in business? And what do you think is going to happen if you keep thinking that you need to sacrifice more in order to have more success? Overwhelm, burnout, family disconnection, and sacrificing your health kind of come to mind because all of those things happen to me. Now, I'm not saying this because I want to scare you. I want you to know that there's another way. I just really needed to get your attention because this really is this serious. There are multiple ways that will allow you to grow a huge successful business without having to sacrifice the things that are most important to you. But if we keep thinking that we need to sacrifice more in order to achieve more, we will never be able to find them. That's why today, if you're tired of throwing more action, more activity, and less sleep at the problem, this video is for you. Are you ready? Let's go. So welcome to Modern Leadership, where we see things differently. We help entrepreneurs become modern leaders so they can excel both personally and professionally without sacrificing family time or burning themselves out. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Now let's think about this logically. Why is thinking that you need to sacrifice more in order to see more success actually holding you back? And that's because when we have this thought and we truly believe that we need to sacrifice more, there is really no other option. It really shuts down any creativity that we could potentially have. That means that in order for us to succeed more, we have to keep doing more and more of the same thing. And like Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over but expecting a different result. If we want to create more, we have to shut down the thoughts that are actually preventing us from being more creative. And this is one of them, thinking you need to sacrifice more in order to achieve more. The truth is, there's a lot of people who will tell you that you need to sacrifice more. And if you're looking for that, definitely find another channel. But if you're somebody who wants to achieve more without having to do more, that is what we're talking about here today. Now, what I want to share with you guys is a number of different stories that will help fuel you to not only be more creative, but to get more done without having to work yourself into the ground. I want you to pick the one that really connects most to you and really lean into this. Let's jump into story number one. Whenever you have that thought that you need to sacrifice more, I want you to think about this. This is just my brain trying to convince me there's only one right, best, only way. But how could I do all of these things with excellence? What this does is it opens you up to an and versus or situation. When you're trapped in an or situation, like there's one right, best, only way to do it, you don't realize that there's a way of you having an and situation instead. How could you excel at both? And when you program that thought into your mind, you will find the answers, even if you don't have it right now. Before I get into story two, if you're enjoying this so far, definitely smash the like button. Story number two is, what is a way that I could think about this that would allow me to achieve more by doing less? This is very similar to the first story, but depending on the specific situation you're in, this one might be more helpful. Now, I talked about this a minute ago, but you do not have to have the answers right now. As long as you're open to finding them and you're putting yourself in an environment to do so, you're going to find something that allows you to achieve more by doing less. Now, story number three would be, what would blank think about this? So I want you to think of somebody who's been able to achieve success where you want to achieve it. What would they say if they were put into the same exact situation? So many times as a coach, I can help pull people out of that specific situation and see what advice they would give other people that they deeply respect and care for. It's so much easier when you're giving other people advice versus giving it to yourself. Then I want you to put yourself back into the situation and ask yourself that question. Now, these day-to-day conversations, these thoughts that you have in your head, they matter more than you know. When you pick one of these stories to really focus your time and attention on, the one that resonates most with you, you'll be amazed at the answers that your brain finds when all you do is slightly reframe the situation. Now, you might get to this point, you might be wondering, like, what are some other thoughts and stories that are keeping me stuck? That's a great question, and I've got you covered. I'll leave you this next video where I talked about the thought that success is up to me, which could very well be keeping you stuck in your business. Check it out and keep leading from the front. Bye, leaders.